Good morning, sweet world. Welcome to No Dunks on YouTube. No Dunks Game Day, Thursday, June 6th, 2024. Happy NBA Finals Day to everyone out there. We finally made it. I'm J.E. Skeets here in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, as always, that's Tass Mellis.
I said to hit the hop. That's what I thought we were getting for a sec, but then it changed.
Next to him, it's the bearded one, my top shot hot boy, Trey Kirby. Hey-o. And last but not least, making the magic happen with that brand new opening here for the YouTube hang. It's super producer JD.
Yeah, just make it different, you know?
Yeah,
We're hanging out. Let's be casual.
Mix it up. Yes. This is a lot of fun. We are going to get into a whole bunch of topics. We had a Woj bomb actually this morning coming out of nowhere. We're going to look at some NBA Finals prop bets as we get ready for Game 1 tonight on ABC at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. That's a lie. That's a lie. It's not at 8:30. What do you think? 8:43?
That's right.
Yeah? That's tip time?
Lock it in.
Okay. You hooping tonight, though? You're going to get a nice little session and then get home, shower,
Of course.
And lock in? Okay, good.
Missed the finals? I mean, of our pickup run that happens every week?
That's why I was confused. What do you mean?
It's the last run?
No.
No, it's game one of the finals tonight.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Next week will also be game one. Week after, game one.
Oh, okay.
We play every Thursday night pickup run like it's game one of the NBA Finals. That's how intense it is. I'll see you there as well. But yeah, not till about 8:43 are they going to throw that ball up. Before we get into everything, though, I want to remind everyone, or tell everyone, I guess, we're going to jump on playback immediately following this YouTube stream to open some mail. We have been sitting on some No Dunks fan mail, I don't think I'm exaggerating, for like 6 to 7 months. Maybe longer. We've had it for a long time. We're going to finally
envelopes.
open it on playback. There it is.
What a shot.
Now, I know what you're thinking.
That's kind of a sad shot, JD. I got to be honest.
2 minutes.
Send us more stuff, I guess.
Yeah, send us more stuff. Here, I brought in some
there'd be more
90s
stuff.
basketball cards.
Right.
We could pop some packs as well on playback. We haven't done that forever. So that link, it's in the show notes. Join our playback room. We're going to do it right after this. So, we're looking at 11:15 a.m. Eastern on playback. We're going to have some fun doing that. But let's get into some finals prop bets. I just picked some weird ones. I wanted to chuck them at you guys, everyone joining us on YouTube. Get your opinion, and we can make some money here. First one, how many games will the series end? And this is by way of BetMGM. 4 games plus 450. 5 games plus 200, 6 games plus 210, and then 7 games, we're going the distance, plus 225. Now, you guys are on record. You've made your finals predictions. We've shared this across our social media channels. We had a Friday drop podcast where we did a hour-long preview of the finals last week. You had Celtics in 6. TK, you had Celtics in 7.
It was Monday, was it not? That's what we previewed
God,
anyways.
It was Monday,
I know,
Tash.
the days are all blending together, Skeets, yes.
Yesterday, for a majority of the day, I did think the finals were starting last night. At like 5:30 last night, I was like, oh, shit. It's Wednesday. I thought they were sort of starting. I was ready to go. But anyway, you're right. That was Monday. Go check out that podcast. But what are you laying some coin on there? Are you just sticking with what you sort of went with, the Celtics in 6, obviously? Do you think that's the most realistic?
Yeah, I'm unlikely to lay coin, even though we're all feeling casual. We all got shorts on right now. It sort of made me think I might gamble, might go have some fun. But the way
wearing shorts.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we're this is just a hangout.
Yeah.
Everything is it's on the table. So a potential gamble here wouldn't be on one bet for me. I look at this and I think it's either going to end in 6 or 7.
Yeah, okay.
Now, if you're a Warren Buffett, you bet on both of those. If you put $100 on game 6, and if you were to bet that it would either end in 6 or 7, $100 on each, that's plus 210 and plus 225. So you would win either 10 or 25 in one of them, minus your juice, minus your fees. You're winning probably between $5 and $18. Or probably, you just have to Warren Buffett it. Right. The only way you lose in that situation is if there's a 5-game series. Now, that's just unlikely.
I agree. Seems unlikely to be 5 or 4.
Yeah. So,
4,
make that wager. Make that dual wager. Don't just bet on one.
What about do the Cam Stewart?
What's that?
Bet on them all. You can't lose, though. Of course, you are losing, but you can't lose, if you know what I mean. One of them's got to be right. There's also that option, the Cam Stewart, like he does on golf. Lay a little bit on this guy, lay a little bit on this guy, lay a little bit on this guy.
The Stewart sprinkle strategy.
Okay, so you also think this is going to be a long series. Are we just trying to talk that into existence? Yeah, maybe, but it feels like it should be a long one.
Of course.
Yeah.
We also thought that Mavericks versus Timberwolves was going to be a long series. It was not.
No.
That was a 5-gamer, but Games 7, not very common in NBA history. Only 19 Game 7s in NBA history. Were the last one, 2016, of course, an all-time classic. 8 seasons, though, it has been since the last Game 7. That's the second longest gap ever. Previously, it was 2005 to 1994.
Okay.
So we're kind of due.
You're talking finals, obviously, specifically.
Only finals.
Yeah?
I'm only talking finals here.
Wow. Yeah, so quite rare.
Yeah.
Quite rare.
Well, Jordan never went to a Game 7, so most of the 90s were taken care of.
All right, well, let's go to overtime games. I like this one. 0 games going to overtime. Okay, you're not going to make a lot on that. Minus 250. 1 game, plus 200. And if you think it goes to, we get 2 or more overtime games in this series, you're getting a payday at plus 1,600. Did you check our overtime stats?
You know I did.
TK, give me the breakdown. How's this one look?
Yeah, I was a stat head this morning.
I love it.
Trey stat head Kirby. Do you remember the last overtime game in the NBA Finals? It's a famous one.
Is it a long time ago?
No.
Is it last year?
No. It's a famous one. It's a meme. It's one of the great games ever played by a particular player.
LeBron and J.R. Smith game.
That's right.
2018.
Wow, that was an overtime
Yes.
game. Yeah.
Game 1. Yeah, that was a bad one.
That's the last
Shouldn't
one.
have been an overtime game.
No.
Right,
Come on, JR.
Right? Put back.
That's the last overtime
That's the
game
last
in the finals.
overtime game. Yeah, 2018. 51 points for LeBron. Not too bad.
Okay.
Only twice. Wait. No, 7 times. 2 overtime games in 1 series the last time. Cavs versus Warriors 2015. That's a forgettable one, but it has happened quite a few times. Celtics Hawks 1957. 2 games went into double overtime. Game 1 and Game 7. There have been 2 overtime Game 7s in NBA history. In 1962, the Celtics beat the Lakers. Bill Russell went for 30 points and 40 rebounds.
That's not bad.
Wow.
Decent game for him. And then 1957, the Celtics beat the Hawks in double overtime, like I just mentioned. Rookie Bill Russell, 19 and 32. Tom Heinsohn, playing basketball, 37 and 23. Bob Pettit, Big Bob, 39 and 13. And Joe Borgia's dad was the ref for both of those overtime Game 7s. There's just a factoid for you.
Jesus.
I was doing a little research this morning,
man.
obviously. The 1957 finals, people must have been going crazy for this one, right? Listen to those numbers people are putting up. 2 overtime games, both of them going into double overtime, and the only double overtime Game 7 in NBA history. SportsCenter must have been insane the day after.
Wow. Yeah, I love it. I actually am going to, make a little prediction here. I think 1 game in this series could go to overtime. And that's only because we keep saying if the Mavs win some of these games, we feel like they'll be close. So, if we have clutch time, crunch time, whatever we're calling it, we obviously have a close game within 5 in the final 5 minutes or so. Why not have the scenario where it's tied when we hit the 48-minute mark and we get a 5 extra minutes of basketball, free overtime basketball. So I don't know. It's as weird as it sounds. I don't mind that 1 game where we get an overtime sesh. Would you bet it?
Putting a wager on it?
No, I wouldn't put a wager on any of this.
Oh.
This is for funsies.
Yeah, funny thing is the Mavs haven't had an overtime game yet this postseason. Surprisingly. It is surprising because they do play close games towards the end.
And the Celtics did have one in the last series, right?
Right.
Yeah,
They did.
Okay.
Yeah, that was
okay.
John
I think
Brown.
one of them is going to happen. We're going to get 1 overtime game. 2 or more, though, it only happened twice in finals history.
Game 7?
Well, it's just 2 or more.
2 overtime games, only... 2 overtime games in 1 series 7 times. So it does happen.
Oh, in the finals?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Last time was 2015, Cavs Warriors.
Oh.
Prior to that, Lakers Magic.
Jesus, that's even higher than I thought it would be. All right.
Warriors, wow.
Let's go to NBA Finals MVP. All right, a real one. Tatum is the favorite, minus 200. Luka, plus 200. Jaylen Brown, plus 625. Kyrie, plus 1,800. And then you get some long shots here. Dereck White, plus 3,000. Porzingis, plus 5,000. He's got the narrative built in, though. Wouldn't that be perfect? Drew Holiday, plus 6,600.
$6,600. If you put down 100, you win $6,600. I saw our man James Edwards say that Drew Holiday was going to be MVP of the series.
Oh, wow.
If there's a team that you would pick a rando on, somebody from not the top two,
Right.
it would be the Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
There could be a wild scenario where a Dereck White or a Drew Holiday, a Dereck White, it reminds me of Danny Green, almost won it with the San Antonio Spurs. It was almost happening the way he was banging home threes.
Started hot.
A supporting player.
And Iguodala, obviously a defensive-minded guy who contributed offensively when he won it. He was a super long shot to win it, obviously, in that series. So
and he won it because he shut down LeBron James.
Yeah.
Held him to, 30 a game that series?
Something like that.
Same reason Kawhi Leonard won Finals MVP in 2014. So Drew Holiday is probably the pick since he'll guard Luka Doncic quite a bit, I would have to imagine, which maybe if he does a really good job holds him to 30 and 5-5 or something like that. You could get a vote for Drew Holiday, but it's pretty rare for a Finals MVP to not be the team's best player. Since 1980, I would say it happened 6 times. Iguodala, 15. Yep. Kawhi Leonard, 2014. Tony Parker, 2007. Debatable, but Tim Duncan was the Finals MVP. All of the previous Spurs appearances in the finals. Then you got Joe Dumars in 89, James Worthy in 88, and Cornbread Maxwell in 1981.
Okay. Plus 625 for Jaylen Brown, I can talk myself into it if you want to veer away from, obviously, a Tatum if the Celtics win the championship or a Luka if the Mavs win the championship. Because you said it. You can picture at least a Jaylen Brown slowing Luka, making life difficult. He's going to be the primary defender, and you're going to see a lot of guys on him, no doubt, but he will get that primary responsibility. And then he's cruising right now. This guy's playing the best basketball he's ever played. He just won the Eastern Conference Finals MVP in a close vote, and I wonder if that almost hurts him. As weird as that sounds, if Tatum and him play at an elite level still, and Jaylen Brown got the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, would the voters be more likely, again in a tight race, to just give this one to Tatum? My gut sort of says they would, but plus 625 are pretty high odds for a guy that just did win the East Finals MVP.
Yeah, maybe Jaylen Brown was planting a seed when the two of them played against each other. When he played Luka earlier this season, he said after the game, guys who don't play defense don't get respected the way they used to, because he was playing hard against Luka. They came out and he was the best player. He could easily win this thing. So it is. I guess it's not surprising that Jason Tatum is the number one option on their team, but I'm surprised it isn't a little closer.
A little closer, yeah.
Bum to bum. It should be very close. But it's all who you think is going to win. And when you got the plus 625 for Jaylen Brown, that's just high. I when Tatum is a minus 200, that's a little drastic for me, for a guy who just won the Eastern.
Great value, man.
Great value, yeah. That's what these people are betting on. Value. So plus 6,600 for Drew Holiday, nice.
Insane
$50 will earn you $3,300, and it'll also lose you $50.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem with betting. Yeah, that's the thing.
I like this question we got on Twitter from our guy Lawrence, who says, which players would be a lock for the Hall of Fame after they win a ring? He suggests these as locks. Stop me if you disagree. Jason Tatum.
Mm-hmm. Lock.
Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, I think it's a lock.
Luka Doncic.
Yeah.
Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
Yes.
Here's his first maybe.
Here it is.
Al Horford.
Lock it in. the guy is an absolute lock.
You're saying if he wins...
If the Celtics win the championship.
Yeah,
he's a lock.
2 NCAA titles.
Yeah.
5-time All-Star, made All-NBA, 3rd team at least, 2nd in Defensive Player of the Year. Played on some good teams.
Mm-hmm.
5-time All-Star.
Yep.
Not a lot of points. He doesn't score a lot of points. That's just not who he is.
Yep.
He only got 14,000 points. But anyway, he gets in for me.
You would think you'd have him in.
Some more sprinkles. How about Drew Holiday?
He's going to get there.
2 titles.
Yeah.
And he's going to play late into his 30s. He might do some other things.
That one I need a little bit more of his career. But yeah, look, it's not going to hurt him. No doubt. To have 2 titles on 2 different teams within a span of, when they win? 21?
21. Yeah,
so
that's right.
3 years, basically. That's a good question. Final one here. I can't believe this is a real thing, but it is. What does Kyrie Irving do first? You can bet on this, okay? Just save your money. I'm going to tell you right now. But just for fun, burns sage before the game, plus 150, okay? Stomps on the Celtics logo, plus 200. Flips off the Boston crowd, plus 300. And then at plus 500, receives a video tribute, and specifically from the Boston Celtics. Which, wow, that'd be very weird in an NBA Finals, no matter who you are, let alone your checkered past with said franchise. Do you like any of those? If you had to pick, which one would you go with?
If I had to pick something to bet on, it would be this. It's an absolute fun bet. I really wonder if you put money on it and none of those happen, which none of those are going to happen. Do you just get your money back? I assume.
No.
Yeah, I think you do.
Really?
Yes. If he doesn't go out and burn sage before a game,
it does say what does he do first?
Stomp on Celtics. None of those are going to happen. He's not going to stomp on the Celtics logo. He's not going to flip a bird like he did. He flipped off the Boston crowd. He's not going to do that again. He's not going to receive a video tribute. No chance. What if he burned Sage Steele, like a joke for Sage Steele? That would be fun. Would you get it? Now, he's not going to do any of these. So which one would I bet on, though? I think the stomp.
Yeah.
Because that could be interpreted as...
Yeah, he stepped on it.
yeah. Like,
he gets upset.
When he crosses half court.
Or he jumps. Like he jumps to do a chest bump. And he
it's like, whoa, look how it came down on that leprechaun's head.
The little leprechaun.
Okay.
I'd bet on that.
You'd go with that one if you had to pick.
Yes.
Okay.
Are any of these happening?
I would bet on Sage only.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think the last three are happening. He seems pretty... Kyrie seems pretty contrite about the way things went down during his Brooklyn tenure, going back to Boston, so I don't think he'll be stomping. I don't think he'll be flipping off the crowd, and there's no way the Celtics are doing a video tribute for him during the finals.
They should really mess with his head.
That would be maybe throw him off his game a little bit there, so I don't know. When does the sage burning take place? I don't know the traditions.
It's pre-game or even...
Oh, definitely pre-game.
Day before, even sometimes.
Was it?
Yeah, could it have happened when they first arrived for media day? When they have all the curtains closed and nobody can go in? It could have already happened. We don't even know.
I mean, they feel like they
got
cameras on everything.
Yeah, you remember the video of it? It was kind of an odd video. It was during... It wasn't practice.
No.
It was just like he was walking around.
Warm-ups, kind of. Yeah.
Kind of. It's like he had just showed up and got onto the floor and was walking around burning some sage.
He's not doing it. The thing about Kyrie is he has grown up over the last few years. That's quite evident in the way he speaks about things, the way he talks about things. So there's no way he's stopping. There's no way. I doubt he's burning. Again, if there's a
flipping, I definitely don't see him flipping a bird.
Burning and flipping.
You know, the Celtics fans are going to try and get under his skin.
Yeah.
You know, some of them will try. I just don't think they'll take the bait, but we'll see. All right, some weird prop bets there for everybody. Don't gamble. Okay, we had a weird Woj bomb this morning. Let's be honest here. The Lakers, according to Woj, are targeting UConn men's basketball coach Dan Hurley as the franchise's next coach and are preparing a massive long-term contract offer to bring the back-to-back national champ to the NBA. The Lakers have had preliminary contact with Hurley, and the sides are planning to escalate discussions in the coming days. This coming, a day after, maybe 2 days after Shams, our guy at The Athletic, was saying JJ Redick is the front runner for this job, and it's just sort of a matter of the time. Probably the finals ends, and then they'll name JJ Redick, and whoa, here comes Woj with a swerve of all swerves. How did you react this morning when Tass Mellis dropped this in the Slack? I know you were busy on StatHead, but even you must have been, whoa, what's going on
in Los Angeles?
Right.
I thought we were zeroed in on JJ. Now we're zeroing out? They're preparing a massive offer when they haven't even escalated talks? What's that all about?
What's that all about?
They gotta obviously the Lakers can meet Dan Hurley's contract with UConn. He re-upped in summer of 2023, 6 years, $32 million. That's nothing in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Brown just got, $8.5 million per year. So clearly the Lakers could go over the top of that if they wanted. Pretty funny stuff, I think, in some of this reporting. They're like, well, LeBron tweeted about it, so you know he's in. He watched the podcast and he liked it.
Yeah, okay. Now that tweet that LeBron had about liking Dan Hurley was a reply tweet to a clip from JJ Redick's podcast, pre-LeBron, JJ's own podcast, talking with Dan Hurley about the X's and O's and his strategy and all that. And that's what LeBron replied to. Woj mentions that in the article.
Yes.
And then the other part that's very strange is he's like talking about, and this is Woj projecting here this idea of Dan Hurley coming in here, that this might have something to do with Bronny James Jr. And that, basically get him a college coach with the 55th pick. That part is fascinating. A weird, thought process to, pick your coach because maybe your superstar whose son is possibly going to get drafted with that 55th pick, so you have him and then you're building off of that. That's a first.
That would be unusual to base your hire around a second-round draft pick. a late second round draft pick.
Right.
And I also liked in Woj's piece that the Lakers have been committed to making All-NBA forward Anthony Davis a significant part of the conversation on the next head coach. So LeBron, we know, was like, I have no influence on this after all. We've seen that in several reports leading up to the Dan Hurley stuff. But now it's like Anthony Davis is the guy picking the coach. Things are changing around here. What's going on, honestly? Which is a smokescreen? Is JJ the smokescreen or is Dan Hurley the smokescreen? He's going to leave the best job in college to coach the Lakers and get fired in 2 years? I don't know about that.
Yeah. What do you think?
I feel like JJ Redick fools us every year. I mean, we get these stories. It's like we get the JJ Redick story being potentially him being a coach somewhere. And maybe it's just good for the media. Maybe it's just good for the viewers.
But this was Shams. I mean, this isn't some no-name Twitter site. This is Shams. Excuse me. Boo-ha. This is like a lot of people around the Lakers organization that are saying, he's emerged as the front runner, and they're leaning towards that direction. And then this comes out of nowhere. And really, Woj, like the way he's presenting it, it's like, this idea, like they're offering him the deal, is what Woj is saying. They're getting ready, preparing. I guess it's sort
massive
of is the out there.
Yeah, this isn't just a report. Woj did TV this morning and talked about it as well.
Oh, he's been everywhere, yeah.
So it feels like it's happening. Yeah, I just wonder if we're just going to get an annual JJ Redick is going to be a coach of this team, like we get about Kenny Smith.
True.
Kenny Smith's going to be a GM of this team. JJ Redick's going to be a coach of this team. You know what? It's good for the clicks. It's good for the views. Just talk about JJ Redick. It's good for Kenny Smith. Get the clicks. You know, that's what it is, I guess. What else could you be deriving from this? What could it be other than
part of it would be like, I feel like Lakers fans have been like, why are we not actually interviewing all kinds of coaches? They've basically interviewed 3 guys in JJ, Atkinson, and Borrego.
Right.
People think you're not doing your due diligence by trying to get the best coaches out there. Dan Hurley is the best college coach going. We know LeBron likes him because he tweeted about it once upon a time, and people say he ran an NBA system for UConn, so it makes the Lakers look like they're doing their job more. It takes a little heat off LeBron as being the guy picking his only coach there. So that's the question for me. Which is it? Like, which guy is the smokescreen? Are we getting Dan Hurley now as a smokescreen so it doesn't seem like LeBron is just handpicking his coach and his son getting drafted? Or was JJ Redick the smokescreen all along? And guess what? We got a curveball of Dan Hurley here who hasn't been mentioned yet. And the guy who breaks the news did write a book about Dan Hurley's dad.
Yeah. There is that whole dynamic as well, for sure. He's tapped into that world. He's
tapped into the Hurley
world.
Woj
just tapped into everything in the NBA, but specifically the Hurleys in that area, and then trying to say, like, we should always say this, predicting which coach is going to be successful in the NBA, it's near impossible, so, throw a dart to be all honest. But we got into the whole Redick, no coaching experience at all. How will he do? Well, there's been some success stories in the NBA of former players that jumped right into the coach's seat and done okay. A lot that haven't. Well, the same is true with college coaches, right? I mean, who are the current college coaches that were college coaches, that have had some success in the NBA? I can think of Quinn Snyder. I think was at Missouri for a while, and he's still coaching the NBA. Your guy, Billy Donovan, obviously comes to mind, who was big at Florida and before that UK, Kentucky, and then so he's now an NBA coach. And then, am I forgetting anyone?
Brad Stevens is the best.
Brad Stevens is the best, right? Now he's in the front office. And then there's a lot of it went bad. Like 1 year type bad.
There's a Billy Donovan in there for.
I just said Billy.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah. But there's Fred
I was thinking
Hoibergs.
Bobby Hurley.
There's Fred Hoibergs. There's Tim Floyds. There's John Beelines.
I mean, a lot of Bulls coaches.
There's Mike Montgomery. There's back in the day Patino and Calipari and Reggie Theus. And there's a lot of you tried to make that jump, and it's 1 or 2 years max. So Hurley obviously very successful with UConn right now, but if he is the coach, it's not like a no-brainer that he's going to be a great NBA coach, because more times than not we've seen it hasn't sort of panned out that way. But this is weird, man.
He yelled at his players. You saw him. He yelled at his players. He's going to yell at those Lakers if he was to get that job. Well, he's going to yell at them. The players that need to be yelled at.
Yeah. I didn't know this, though. If Hurley does leave, every player on UConn's roster have a 30-day window to enter the transfer portal. So if the coach leaves, I didn't know that. News to me. So we'll see here. Yeah. But have we heard from Shams? since the Woj, news here, like doubling down on no, it's Redick. Trust me. This is going to be interesting how it plays out, because I think Shams was even on Pat McAfee, which is on ESPN, saying the Redick is the front runner, which is obviously Woj's now.
Yeah, Shams and Sam Vecini did do a confirmation piece. I saw Dan Wojcicki at the LA Times confirmed the Woj reports as well. So, I mean, it's at least there's smoke here. There's at least smoke for Dan Hurley.
For sure. Fascinating. We'll see. All right, yesterday the Utah Jazz unveiled a new set of jerseys slated to be released over the next 2 seasons. After shifting to black and yellow jerseys ahead of the 22-23 season, the team's revamped look here is based on their new official colors: mountain purple, midnight black, and sky blue. Those are all my favorite Mountain Dew flavors. So you're getting a look at it here on YouTube. Where eventually the Jazz will have 4 new uniforms. But I want to make this clear for people. You're not going to see all 4 of these new uniforms next season when we tip off 24-25. It's going to be quite weird. There's going to be one of the purple ones, and then the black one comes like when we hit the calendar year 2025, and then the other 2, the white one and the other purple one, those come the following season. So they are really, releasing these and getting people hyped about them and maybe selling the merch in advance. But you're not going to see all 4 of these next year. But what do you think, TK? Overall, a fan of this look?
Oh, of course. These look awesome.
Yeah.
And it makes you think, why did they ever wear those dumb yellow jerseys?
So weird, man.
Because these are great. Everybody loves the mountains for the Utah Jazz. And updating a classic, I think, works. Like the Bucks did it. Looks awesome. Sixers did it. Looks great. The Suns did it. Looks good. And I think that these are top drawer in the updated retro, if you want to call it that. They look great. It is weird that they do 2 purple jerseys that look the exact same. But yeah, this is good. And it kind of makes you think Jazz are probably not planning on being great this year. So at least we got some good jersey news coming out of Utah.
What do you think? You fan of these?
Yeah, who knows what happens with their team, but their jerseys may stick around for a long time. These look like they developed their classics almost. Like they could just stick around this as the base and really just, work around the edges. Like we could see mountains for years and years and years on that, especially on the 3 jerseys. Maybe the city edition could change slightly. The black one with the mountains there, but
those are the statements.
The city ones are probably the purple with the purple font because they wore them this year, right? So they're rolling those back.
Goddamn confusing.
Yeah, but there's a Jumpman logo on the black one, so I thought that was a city edition. So those are all city editions.
If you got a Jumpman logo. In the notes I read, the statement, those black statement edition jerseys will take over for its predecessor, the black ones that they wear now with the yellow, January 1st, 2025.
Well, they're absolutely making a statement.
They are.
Absolutely, for sure. The city... I was going to say the city of Utah. I know. The city of Salt Lake City loves its mountains. That's absolutely what's happening there with all 4 being mountains. But honestly, it could be developing a classic, a staple for them.
Well, it used to be. Really?
Yeah, on the road one, but now it's everywhere. Now it's all 4 jerseys.
Some people, the only pushback I've seen to these, because these have been universally like, wow, those are great. Those look sick. And like cool colorways and all that, is like... They incorporated a little bit, because I did say sky blue, and you see a little bit of the sky blue, the old Darren Williams sort of Utah Jazz jerseys. Why didn't they make one of the purple ones maybe more blue? I think would be my only complaint, because I'm with you, Trey. Those 2 jerseys look damn near identical. Hey, Dereck.
Dear Dereck.
We'll get to you in a second. Just relax with your Lego. Okay, yeah, we got it. You got cool Lego, man. We'll get to it.
Well, if it is a city edition, they could change it to blue anytime. Year to year.
Could do blue, could do green, could bring back the yellow. Bring back the gradients.
These are good. Great, These are good, man. They obviously... It's like they almost purposely botched it with those yellow and blacks. I was thinking this. They're like, just like, okay, we got these. We've done in different jerseys. We've had the greens. We've had the, those gradient ones, But like, let's blow it all up. Look at these stupid black and yellow ones. They're like, oh, these are the worst. And they're like, don't worry. We're just biding our time here. We're going to go back to the classics. You're going to love the mountains. Because everybody loves the mountains in Utah. There's like a quote that says like, I think it's something like 85% of maybe their fan base that they surveyed live very close to the mountains at least, which is like makes sense. They're right there. Yeah.
Yeah, we need to know what percentage of the landmass of Utah is mountains to be impressed by that stat. But it is cool that they named one of their colors after a vodka. I wonder if they're able to even sell Sky Blue in Salt Lake City.
Oh, yeah, right. I didn't even think of that. Mountain Purple, Midnight Black, and Sky Blue can never just be a color. It has to always have the adjective for these.
What is Mountain Purple?
Specific.
Purple.
Yeah. What does it have to do
I'll
with
tell you what it is. Put it back up, JD. It's that purple. That is now Mountain Purple.
Yeah, our walls, of course, are wall purple.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Or Donkey Purple.
No Dunks purple. Not Mountain Purple.
Garage Purple. We have Garage Purple. And that is Mountain Purple. All right, they look good. Good stuff there from the Utah Jazz. I can't wait to see some of those in 2026. Okay, next piece of news here. The Ringer's Kevin O'Connor is reporting that the Houston Rockets are in talks to possibly move out of the number 3 overall pick in this month's NBA draft. Quote here from KOC. They are listening, the Rockets, they are listening to trade offers for that number 3 pick. They are talking to the Nets, and they are talking to the Grizzlies. They could end up moving down to number 9 if it's Memphis, or out if it's Brooklyn, and get Mikal Bridges back. Tass, why don't you get started with this? What was your reaction to KOC saying the Rockets could be looking to move out of that number 3 slot?
It makes a lot of sense. We heard similar things around the trade deadline, that they're trying to get older and try and get away from their core, which is extremely young. So it makes sense because they have so many young guys. When you think about Cam Whitmore, Jabari Smith, Amin Thompson, Albert Şengün, Jalen Green, Tari Eason, all 2,000 kids. You've got a lot of guys who are super young. So it makes sense to trade that number 3 pick, unless you're getting a really good guard, because they do have Fred and they do have Jalen Green. But they need somebody in there to be a solid younger guard, because Fred is getting older and Jalen Green needs somebody beside him. So if they really believe in Reed Shepherd from Kentucky, then it would sort of make sense to get him, but I guess they don't. I guess that's what it's coming down to, and I guess it makes sense because they have so many young guys, and they have a lot of future picks. Like, this is the pick from Brooklyn for James Harden. So there's more of those coming down the pike. So it would make sense in a draft which ain't that heavy to make that move this season. To explore it, at least. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. When the Rockets got the 3rd pick, it was pretty obvious that they were going to be in the mix for a trade because they got 6 players on rookie contracts, all of whom are pretty good, that they need to see them play, and then they need to decide who we're going to pay because it's going to get expensive eventually.
Yeah.
Also, like you're saying, Ime Udoka wanted to make the playoffs last season. There was all that talk at the trade deadline. Are we going to make a move for a star? Is it going to be Mikal Bridges? They obviously did nothing, didn't make the playoffs, but Udoka's not going to want to go through another season like that. They'll at least want to compete for the play-in, I do believe. But reading the reporting, it seems to me that the Grizzlies want the pick at number 3. Apparently they're after Donovan Clingan from UConn. But the Rockets want Mikal Bridges, so the question is, do the Nets like any of the prospects on the Rockets? They could do Bridges for Dylan Brooks. That works contract-wise. Huge upgrade going from Brooks to Mikal Bridges, but more than likely it's going to be one of those young players plus Steven Adams' contract, plus the 3rd pick, plus probably another pick from their deep larder of draft assets. So I guess it could be Jalen Green. I guess it could be Amen Thompson, just because if you're getting Mikal Bridges back, that probably takes one of those 2 spots. And you could entice the Nets, I do believe, with either of those guys.
Yeah, it is going to be really interesting what they do next offseason, because it seems like they are going to make their moves and decide who they are going to pay, because Fred is a guy, and Van Vliet comes off the guaranteed money next offseason. So it'll be interesting where they go. Who are they just giving the money to from all those young guys? Because they have so many to decide from, and that's what they did when they signed Fred Van Vliet to 2 years guaranteed plus unguaranteed in the following couple of years. So that was the move. They're trying to get better. If they keep it, a lot of mock drafts, including the Athletic Sam Vecini, does have who you were saying there, Reed Shepherd at the number 3 spot. A shorter guard, point guard from Kentucky. So there's always that, I guess, possibility that they just let's just keep going young and get a guard in here to sort of run this offense. We'll see. Until a trade makes sense. Yeah. Really. Yeah, the Nets would have to be interested in somebody at number 3 to do the deal, I really think, unless they're really high on Green or Thompson.
The Memphis one doesn't make as much sense to me because I don't know who on the Grizzlies that Houston would actually be interested in. John Morant, Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson Jr., all those guys are paid. They're locked in with the Grizzlies. All their other young guys are kind of just guys. Santi Aldama, Vince Williams, maybe Gigi Jackson is interesting. Promising. Otherwise, you're looking at Marcus Smart, 2 years, $40 million left on his contract. Basically Dylan Brooks part 2. Do you want 2 of those guys on the same team? I don't know. The trade with the Nets makes a little bit more sense to me.
All right, next piece of news here. Dallas Mavericks star Kyrie Irving is signing the first signature athlete for his Anta shoe line. His father, Dereck Irving. This marks the first time in pro sports a player has signed his father to a signature shoe deal. Your thoughts on this, TK? Kyrie signing his dad to his own line here, which is, sounds weird when I say it out loud, but he is the chief creative officer, Kyrie is, of Anta Sports.
Historic signature shoe deal. Anybody could have scooped Kyrie on this one, I do believe.
You don't think Nike took meetings with Dereck and maybe Adidas? And
Surprised Shaq didn't do it.
Yeah.
He had his own Walmart shoes back in the day. Will I be lining up for the Dereck ones? Probably not. But if you go to a smaller brand like Anta, where you're in charge of everything, where you get a C-suite title, you're calling the shots. Kyrie also said his dad was going to get his jersey retired in Boston Garden in a Nike commercial once upon a time.
Right. I just watched that recently. Yeah, them hooping there in the Garden. Yeah, back in the day. His dad played for Boston University. His dad played professionally in Australia. And now he's getting his own shoe, which I think is going to be released at Foot Locker in September. The Dereck ones. They should just call them Dad ones.
Dad ones. Everybody was saying, these are going to have Velcro laces.
Yeah, who are they going after in the market? The oldies? I guess. Why doesn't Tito Horford have one? I mean, somebody's dad. Somebody's dad. That's what I'm surprised by. Someone's dad didn't just get gifted a shoe. This is what it feels like.
Well, I was thinking about this. Okay, you know more about this than I remember. Kevin Durant. Now, not her own shoe line by any means, but Aunt Pearl or something.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe even had a colorway for his mom. If I don't know, there's been a million colorways of KD's.
The Wanda ones.
I don't know. Is there a Wanda ones? But there definitely was an Aunt Pearl. I remember that.
There's definitely Aunt Pearl colorways. They're always like pink and like floral looking for Kevin Durant. I'm also like, back in the day, Tim Hardaway wore the Nike Air Bacon. So he had a signature shoe, kind of, but Tim Hardaway Jr. doesn't. So does that count? I don't know.
No, Kyrie's in control of Anta Sports. This is got a lot of headlines.
Yes.
Right? I think that was more than anything the move here. I truly can't believe there's going to be a shoe made. To me, this was, again, just like a hell of a promotional thing. Like, I think he even has his own shoes, Kyrie, right?
Yeah, he does.
That are like maybe available now or coming soon, whatever new colorway, I'm sure. But, again, gets clicks, gets eyeballs, but for them to follow through and make these is pretty wild. Cool, I guess. I'm not going to wear them. I don't.
I had never looked at the Anta website in my life.
And you went and checked it out?
Well, I checked it out first of all when Kyrie was wearing those moccasin shoes. I'm like, those are cool. I haven't seen what those look like. They're not available. Then I went and tried to see the Dereck ones. No news yet. I mean, it just was announced. But more than anything, I was looking for those pants that Kyrie was wearing during warm-ups, during media day. They're almost like a waffle knit, like the shirt I'm wearing right now, but they're like embroidered with all kinds of crazy stuff on them. I'm like, those look like a nice chill pair of pants.
Well, I can't find them.
No.
Yeah, so you can't find anything.
The availability on the Anta website, it's not up to snuff quite yet. That should be Cyrie's second order of business. Sign and dad first. Number 2, wide availability of everything.
Are there Klay Thompsons on there? He was an Ant. Are there any on there?
I don't know. Like I said, I didn't look.
ClayThompson.com has them.
Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
Is he with Anta?
Yes, he is.
Yeah,
He's been there for a while.
He's an Anta man.
He's got a KT8 Iconic, so... Oh, he's got a KT9. That's a lot of different shoes for him. He's developed a lot.
Wow.
They're quite sexy. And like I was saying a little earlier, I mean, Kyrie is getting older. He's developing. He's getting smarter. Giving his dad a shoe. Obviously, the moccasins are a tribute also to his mom and the Native American indigenous roots that he has. So there's that as well. So he's giving back. I guess like he did have that interview where he said his dad was going to have his jersey retired. I mean, like Kyrie said, he was going to have his jersey retired in Boston. It didn't happen. But you got to respect people giving love to their parents in general. And speaking of parents, got a message here about Tito Horford. As I said, why doesn't Tito Horford have a shoe? The guy played in the NBA. Al, give him a shoe.
Why doesn't Tito
You're the
Horford
only
have a
person to
shoe?
ever say out loud, why doesn't Tito Horford have a pair of shoes?
I am the only one.
You're the first.
Because nobody asks about anybody's dad. What about the dads out there? Tito Horford has a vodka deal.
What?
Tito. I'm kidding. He doesn't. 4 morning poops
He
here.
got us for a second. God damn it.
4 morning poops.
That's a dad
on
joke.
Instagram. It
honestly
is.
is.
But we were talking about
Wow.
blue sky a little bit earlier.
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
So that makes a lot of sense. And I am a little surprised, though, that Tito doesn't have one. Now, did you read the Al Horford article on The Athletic about him?
I did not, no.
About him and the way he is dedicated to working out, and that's why he is so fit in his late 30s.
Yeah.
He's following Tom Brady. He even discussed it with Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Because Tom Brady knew, and that's how he worked out or played ball till he was 45.
Here's what I would like. I would like everybody out there in the No Dunks universe to send in a photo if you see an Anta shoe in the wild.
Okay.
I don't think I've ever played in a
Yeah.
pickup run and ever saw someone wearing an Anta shoe. I'm not saying they don't exist. I just want to see it.
I think you've seen it. And I
didn't know.
Yeah, you just didn't know. Sometimes they don't market themselves like crazy here in America, but they make
Okay,
a
I'll
lot of
look
shoes
tonight.
that a lot of people
I'm
wear.
lining everybody up tonight. Let's see your feet. Not to be a Terry Rozier about it, but let's see those feet. Okay. Former NBA veteran Chase Budinger, will head to Paris next month to compete for the United States beach volleyball team in the 2024 Summer Olympics. Budinger and partner Miles Evans qualified Wednesday for the U.S. men's team. They're tied for 13th in the most recent world rankings. So pretty damn good here. But yeah, this guy, former NBA player, 7 years in the league, bounced around a little bit. Rockets, Wolves, Pacers, Suns, I think, maybe a cup of coffee. Played in Europe, I think, for a year after that. But then went back to playing volleyball. And this guy's so damn good, he's now on the Olympic team.
Just like that.
Now, it's the second men's U.S. beach volleyball team. They send 2. You're so good at this sport. You're sending 2 squads. But that's pretty amazing. I'm not mocking it. It's wild.
Yeah, it is pretty amazing. People got mad at me yesterday.
What happened?
I said beach volleyball is easier than NBA basketball, and people somehow were mad about that. Chase Budinger was a great high school player, like National Player of the Year.
Yeah.
As a high school player, and then he didn't play competitive volleyball for 12 years. And within a year, he was a professional player. Within 7 years, he was one of the 4 best players in the United States going to the Olympics, which made me think there's probably 150 guys in the NBA who could become professional beach volleyball players.
So you're telling me you don't think there's a guy that was a professional volleyball player, maybe beach volleyball specifically, that could make the next dream team? Like
I don't think it could go the other way.
Okay.
I just think the skill sets are so similar to become a good volleyball player. You got to jump high.
Yeah.
You got to have great fitness, and you got to have hand-eye coordination. It's a lot harder to throw a ball into a hoop 30 feet away than it is to jump up and hit a ball. So I think with a year of training, there are several guys in the NBA who could become amongst the best beach volleyball players in the world. Like, give Jared Vanderbilt a year to learn beach volleyball, and he would probably make the Olympics.
Nice pull of Jared Vanderbilt.
Right?
There aren't many conversations I enjoy on Twitter these days. It's just it's a
cesspool.
rumble and tumble out there. But this conversation where people got on you about saying that what you're saying is ridiculous was a great conversation, because it was a real conversation. It really was like Austin Rivers and what he said recently about basketball and football players. But when you think about it, people would rather get paid to play basketball.
Yes.
So they're on that path, as Chase was.
Yeah.
Because, as you said, he was a high school. What was his status then as a volleyball player?
He was
a high school
Volleyball
yeah.
Magazine's National High School Player of the Year in 2005.
And then he went on.
was a better volleyball player than he was a basketball player.
Yeah, but
At that time, but he went...
But he doesn't regret what he did.
No, why would you? How much money did he make?
Yeah, because even though he didn't make anywhere close to an all-star team or wasn't a well-known basketball
No.
player, He's made a lot of money, and he was in a dunk contest, so that
So he made an
that
extra
skill set.
$25,000
Well, that
for
skill
that.
set transfers pretty well to volleyball.
Totally,
Being able
yeah.
to jump high.
That helps. That helps.
And obviously, he's got great hand-eye coordination.
Okay, according to Basketball Reference, what do you think Chase Budinger made in his NBA career? Again, we said 7 seasons.
40.
Yeah, a
40
little
million.
high, 36.
Okay, you guys are both a little high. He actually only made 18 million, only 18 million
wow, okay.
plus.
Yeah.
It looked like his biggest deal was maybe like a 3-year, $5 million per type thing. He made $5 million per year there for a couple years, so that was where he maxed out at. But
Never signed a big deal after 2016, which would have
That's
been
correct.
the big money maker.
correct.
That's when he got out, frankly. He went and played in
Played in
Spain
Europe,
for
yeah.
a year. And I wonder how much volleyball players make. How much does Summer Ross make? How much do these current players make? Not anywhere close to 18 mil over 6 years. Was it 6 years?
I got excited when I first saw this headline. Is there a football player named Mike Evans?
There is, yeah.
I was like, because I read it first as Mike Evans. I was like, oh my God, this is so badass. We just took a former NBA player, or US took a former NBA player, took a former football player, and we're like, hey, you guys are athletes. Go learn beach volleyball. Go kick some ass for us. But Miles Evans, not Mike Evans. But maybe he's good. He's a wide receiver.
Mike Evans?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really good.
He's
Won a
got to
Super
be
Bowl
able
with
to
Tom Brady.
jump super high and he's super strong.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
Tweet it.
Yeah. I guess because he wasn't a dunk contest, you think of Chase Budinger as a first-round pick. I do, anyways, a late first-round pick, but he's a mid-second-round pick. So that's why we're going to be watching the NBA draft in that second round, because somebody might be able to jump very high, and then he's going to go on to play volleyball.
Not
one
me.
day.
I'm going to be watching the Olympics. I'm going to be the biggest Chase fan there is. I'm a Chase head now.
I want him to win.
Yeah, that'd be
That makes
awesome.
my take even better. It's going to be my draft take for every athletic wing. Well, if it doesn't work out, he could just go play professional beach
Oh
volleyball.
my God. Yeah, you got to double, triple down on this.
Like, honestly, give Zach LaVine 3 weeks, he would be the best Olympics volleyball player ever.
Oh my God. I can just picture Trey being villain number 1 on volleyball message boards.
The volleyball boys are
This guy
coming
has
for me.
no idea.
Yeah. I wonder how good his spikes would be. Zach LaVine specifically. Does he hit it hard enough?
I saw him hit a baseball out of a baseball stadium.
He was born to be a baseball kid. That's
guy's
what
a
he grew
great
up.
athlete.
That's what he grew up playing in Seattle. He had it on his property. The game.
Wilt Chamberlain
Batting
played
cages.
an entire legendary NBA career, then retired and became the best beach volleyball player that was out there.
Look, you're
I
not.
wonder who it would be, the current, today NBA, the best beach volleyball player. I wonder who it is. If they actually had a little mini game, little tournament. Someone that obviously probably played it, of course, in school or at least in high school, something like that. Because, that's going to help your development. I don't know. I have no clue who that is. Tell me out there. All right, next one here. Bulls guard DeMar DeRozan will become an unrestricted free agent this summer, but there is mutual interest between the franchise and the player for Debo to return to Chicago, TK. Darnell Mayberry of The Athletic reports that the Bulls would be happy to re-sign DeRozan on a 2-year deal, but DeRozan's side obviously would like a little bit more security, so they're probably looking at 3-4 longer deal than just the 2. Your thoughts on this?
They can't give DeRozan a long deal. They cannot give this guy $40 million. The Bulls are not playing right now, so I'm not in sicko fan mode.
Yeah.
But 2 years, $25 million a year, 50 total. That's the max I would go to for DeRozan, because you don't want to be paying him as he gets older and older and older. Also, a $25 million a year contract will be a lot easier to trade than a $40 million, especially with all these new rules coming in and how you can aggregate players. I guess it's a possibility that they could do a sign and trade. If the Sixers strike out on Paul George, maybe they would be interested. If the Clippers lose Paul George, maybe they would be interested. I see the Lakers and the Heat are teams that are kind of mentioned as in the mix for DeRozan as well. But this is basically the absolute last possible chance the Bulls have to rebuild right now, because they signed LaVine to his big deal.
Yeah.
He got hurt right away. Hasn't worked out. They signed Vucevic to another deal. That one hasn't worked out, so they can't do yet another run it back here. Will they? Probably. Yes, they probably will. I'll be going nuts in the 9-10 game. The Bulls, the first team in NBA history with 3 three-peats. The first 2 were 6 championships. The last one was 3 straight 9-10 game wins. That would be exciting, but I just hope the Bulls literally do something different.
Yeah.
They got to do something different this year.
He turns, DeRozan does 35 this summer. not a spring chicken by any means. He's still a good player. And
He's good.
And
a great leader. Players have gotten better playing alongside DeRozan. He's fun to watch when he's on your team until it gets playoff time and you're like not quite as fun because your team is maybe not in the playoffs. But it's cool that he would go to Ayo Dosunmu's jersey retirement and sit sideline, for his college team, that kind of stuff. He's a great teammate and a great guy to have around, but if this team ever wants to win again, they're going to have to get better players. Period. I think that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, totally. And this coming year, it could be the last year of just the development of that salary cap and how bad it is, where they could actually change it. Because Lonzo Ball, unfortunately, he's not able to play. His money comes off the books after next season.
Oh, he's coming back, I heard.
Well,
he's got a dead man's meniscus in his leg.
Oh, interesting.
Dead man's meniscus is a great name for a drink. That's a fucking great name.
That's crazy.
Bartender, I'll take a dead man's meniscus.
Oh, the Lonzo? Yeah, we got you. Slides it across.
That's how you do it, man. Not an organ donor, but a meniscus donor.
I didn't know you could even do that.
I didn't know you could do that either. Science, man.
That's what bodies are for.
Yeah.
So that is interesting information because obviously he would be amazing if that meniscus developed into something, but they really need to make a change after next season. But you're right. You could just have a number 9, number 10 seed that you could be excited for years and years and years. They shouldn't sign DeMar for too long.
That's the thing. And Mayberry wrote in his article, quote, "The Bulls have a habit of liberally latching player options into contracts so that the carrot could come into play with DeRozan's deal as well."
Yes, it could.
They have a history of doing that, maybe a year too much, right, with that player option. But you think you're fine with it if it is that 2-year, you'd like it less than $40 million, but it's the years that is the real.
The years would be the worst part of it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. This is a chance to do stuff. I saw Casey Johnson was reporting earlier this week that the Bulls and Zach LaVine, both sides are motivated to make something work this offseason, and the Bulls' asking price, which was an all-star level talent, first-round picks, or both, has dropped significantly.
Yeah,
it is a good time to be bad. Most teams aren't tanking right now, so these teams in the middle should probably be selling. The Bulls also owe the San Antonio Spurs a first-round draft pick, which is how they got DeRozan. Back in the day, it's top 10 protected in 2025 and then top 8 protected in 26 and 27. There is an opportunity to be the worst team in the league and get Cooper Flagg. That's how you get good in the NBA, is by drafting awesome players. Free agency hasn't really been the move lately.
No, that's a good point. We'll see what the Bulls do. Can't wait for them to run it back.
No,
Shout out to Sean again.
just literally anything different. Make a trade, draft a rookie who plays. They've had Dalen Terry and Julian Phillips. They've probably played a combined 1,000 minutes in the past 2 seasons. I just want to see a new guy. It was so exciting to have Andre Drummond out there spinning around, bro. I was like, Torrey Craig, let's go. Javon Carter, let's go.
The Thunder have been linked to Patrick Williams because they're trying to collect every Williams imaginable. That would be their 4th, I guess, if we're keeping track. But we'll see what the Bulls do. Don't get your hopes up, unfortunately. All right, final one here. Hey, Dereck, it's your time to shine, baby. On Monday, Mavs center Dereck Lively II posted the following video to TikTok about his love of Legos. And this is just a clip of Lively showing off all these sets, these Lego sets that he has put together, as if he was Miles Turner or Ben Golliver. Holy moly. JD, you got excited about that one.
Notre Dame.
Yeah, Notre Dame, that's right. Yeah.
A lot cheaper than I thought it was going to be on Amazon. It was like $300, almost 9,000 pieces.
Wow. Do you know how much the McAllister's house from Home Alone is? I did check.
Oh, no. Let me guess. $750.
No, too high.
Too high. Okay.
Yeah, $300.
Okay.
$299.95. The most expensive, I guess, was a Coliseum, which is out of stock apparently. $550.
Oh,
but these are all like $150 to $500.
I think he had the Coliseum, didn't he?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
it's out of stock because he bought the last one.
Bought all of them.
Yeah.
You only put it together once. Then you gotta get another one.
Is there a Larry O'Brien Lego set?
No, that would be cool.
That'd be pretty cool.
Gotta be.
How is there not like a Stanley Cup and a Larry O'Brien? There's gotta be.
Gotta be.
They make everything.
Yeah.
That'd be
but you don't do it just once. You put it together. You can take it apart and put it back together.
Bullshit. Nobody does that.
You can. You're
My
right.
son is doing it right now.
You can.
He's got like a Mustang.
So he's put it together.
He has put it together.
And he's completely taking it apart, and he's just going to do it again.
He completely took it apart and he put it back together.
He's
putting it back together.
I've never done these big sets. I'm always envious.
Yeah.
These look cool.
Is that why Lively is holding it with one hand?
It's like, I don't care if I drop it.
Yeah,
I'll
exactly.
just build it again.
Well, that's the good thing about Lego.
You can't break it, really.
I mean, you can't.
Yeah.
Unless you really snap a piece. Those are very difficult to do, though.
Very difficult. I've tried.
It would suck if he dropped 2 at a time. As he's carrying them, he's holding them in each hand.
All the pieces together.
As they're like a pizza in each hand. He's got a lot of faith in his handles, I guess. I mean, he looks very confident that he's not going to drop them. I would be worried. But I guess if you're just going to make another one. But let's say you drop 2, then you got to sort them.
Yeah,
there's a lot of sorting.
Good luck.
I mean, those are like 7,000 pieces each or whatever.
But that's part of it, though. The digging through, I'm telling you, he doesn't care. Well, yes, I hope I drop it.
But hold on. When
he loves digging through, of course.
When people put these together, they do not open the box and take out every little bag with all the pieces in it and just dump it on the table. It's all like little packet by packet, obviously instruction by instruction.
Yeah.
Because it's going to make it 100 times easier to do it.
Right. But part of the meditation of it as well is looking for the pieces and putting it together.
Yeah.
There's bigger bags and there's smaller bags.
Yeah. But I'm saying they're not ripping open everything and just dumping it on one table.
Yeah.
I don't think
some people do, for sure. They like to sort.
But if you take it apart,
then you
got to do that. You got to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like jigsaw puzzles. That's the same thing. Just hunting and searching for these little tiny things. That's the meditative process.
A great point. You're right.
Right.
I'm surprised it's way more, not as expensive as I thought it was. I thought they'd be way more.
I thought
they'd all be way more.
Yeah.
I walk into a Lego store and you see a miniature Harry Potter, and it's like $100 at least.
Yeah, but that's because you're paying Warner Brothers prices. It's the licensed stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
The Avengers Tower that he showed there.
Yeah.
I mean, they're getting that one's $500 basically, $4.99.
Home Alone's not that surprising. That's that cheap because the house doesn't even sell. They've been trying to sell their house like every year.
Have they really?
No
It's
one
always
buys
for sale. You're totally right.
Yeah.
Well, take down the paint can, for crying out loud.
Right? Nobody wants to walk inside.
You should leave it. I think they've redone that whole house too, I heard.
Yeah.
Like the inside.
I hope so.
That would suck.
Yep.
I don't even know. Did they shoot the movie in the actual house? Like, obviously
That's
it's the
a great
exterior,
question.
but I don't know if they shot inside of it.
I don't know, actually.
Were those micro machines right there at the bottom of the stairs?
Can you still slide down the stairs right outside? I would get the Home Alone house though. Because it would be cool to have every Christmas. Like you bring it out, boop, I got a cool decoration.
Totally.
I built
This is my whole thing with these. I love these. Like, I do like Lego, but I'm always like, what am I going to do with it?
Right.
Now, you're right. You can take it apart and just give it to somebody, but it's like, that's a lot of work. Like, I think some of these take long hours, right?
Right.
Not whipping that Coliseum together. But what am I going to do with it?
What am I going to do with it?
But
I like what you said.
I'll tell you what you're going to do with it. You're going to put it in your guest room on top of a shelf.
Yeah.
You're gonna be like, oh, right.
I'm
There's
going
the
to dust
Octopod.
it. Yeah.
Built an Octopod from the Octonauts Adventures, of course, but it was not like an officially licensed one, so I could not read the directions, but I could follow them with my eyes.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Don't they? I was going to say, you guys have Lego. You have kids. Don't they have this app, like, you chuck out all your Lego and then like you hold your phone up to it and it can like
that app doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
Nah.
It like tells you what you could make, right? Is that the idea?
Oh, that's interesting.
It's a cool idea for sure.
It doesn't work.
Nah.
Technology is not there.
That's pretty difficult.
You can always use your imagination.
Yeah.
It feels like that doesn't happen as much. It's kind of become like model cars.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
People aren't
100%.
freestyling.
Back in my day, shout out to Corey Smith, we built the Sky Dome.
Wow.
No instructions.
Yeah.
Just a photo.
There you go.
Let's try and build it.
Yeah.
So you still have it?
No, he might. It was his. Like I was helping out.
Wow.
I was building some bleachers.
Yeah. That's cool. I did the CN Tower. We could have put them right next to
Oh my God! Then he could build the aquarium.
Right?
Oh, maybe that's
You
why
could
the
build
new...
the Zanzibar.
Why would I be building... Oh, just because in
know.
Toronto?
Just up the street. Just up the street.
Maybe that's what the new Toronto Blue Jays jerseys are modeled after, that Lego system, because it doesn't look like the Sky
those
Dome,
are
really.
garbage.
It doesn't look like the Rogers Center.
Doesn't
I
look
wouldn't say
anything
it's-
like
I wouldn't
this.
say it's garbage.
It doesn't look like the CN Tower.
I've been told they look better in person.
Oh, okay.
That's when you
I've
know
got
it's
an-
bullshit. That's when you know it's crap. Oh, it looks
It's
better.
well done. It's well done.
Okay.
No, it doesn't.
Let's call it there, guys. Game 1 of the NBA Finals. That's tonight. It's finally here. We made it, and we're going to be back on YouTube and in your podcast feed with the Drop Podcast, breaking down Game 1 in detail. Any other news that we get from the NBA world, maybe Worst of the Week nominees. You know we'll have rapid fire, so we'll have some fun on the Drop. Join us then at 10 a.m. Eastern. And if you're joining us live right now, come on over to Playback in, 5-10 minutes. We're going to open up some mail, maybe rip some old packs of basketball cards, and hang out for another 45 minutes to an hour. So come join us. That link, we can drop it in the chat, but it's in the show notes as well. Just go to playback.tv/NoDunks. All right, we'll see you guys soon. Until then, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us, and remember, Gordon Hayward has Anta shoes. I totally forgot about that. You guys want to have a quick look? Just let the audio listener hear how excited you are for Gordon Hayward's Anta shoes.
It looked like a tennis shoe to me, like that one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a well. This one is
Like a shark fin.
average.
Looks
Quite
like a shoe
average.
you'd put on and just run around for a little bit. Not do much else.
Running shoes. That's weird. They're just running shoes, not basketball shoes.
Damn,
Huh?
I should have said that. All right, embrace the day, people. See you soon on Playback.